Submitted herein is a report on the disappearance of Isaac Sirocco, white male, age 40, who resides at 419 8th Street, Bohemia, New York. On July 24, 2025, I, Charles Downey, Detective Number 961, assigned to the 4th Division Homicide Squad on the 7-3 tour, was writing paperwork on mandatory overtime when Rachel Delaney frantically entered the squad and reported a missing person, Isaac Sirocco, due to unusual circumstances at approximately 1600 hours. This writer prepared a complaint report and interviewed the witness in the box shortly after her arrival. Note: the witness appeared to be emotionally disturbed, and her claims are subject to further investigation. Included in this report is a written statement from the witness. Your consideration in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Respectfully submitted, Detective Charles Downey.
I, Rachel Delaney, born on April 22, 1985, was the lover of Isaac Sirocco between 2020 and 2025, up until his disappearance around this time last year. Before I begin my statement, I want it to be said on the record that I am not mentally ill, and these claims are 100% factual based on my personal experiences. I have reason to believe that Isaac was abducted by extraterrestrial creatures, as I witnessed an inexplainable phenomenon myself earlier this evening that I was certain ended in Isaac's abduction. I am a cybersecurity analyst for the Manfred Biological Research Center, which is where I met Isaac, as he was also employed as an IT supervisor by this organization up until he was terminated in April of last year. Isaac was terminated from his position due to a conflict he had with our employer over lost promotional opportunities. We held a casual sexual relationship and friendship for the past 5 years that seemingly ended in the blink of an eye when Isaac simply stopped answering my calls and text messages. I took it upon myself to both confirm his well-being and gain closure by searching his home, which seemed abandoned, and found information on his forgotten cell phone that led me to where he was. I utilized the GPS on his phone to track specific coordinates of his past whereabouts and learned that he had been actively visiting the sunken forest throughout the year. I needed to assure myself that he was okay and confront him about his distance from me, so I followed the pins and traveled through the woods myself. During my search, I passed a campsite that I was sure belonged to Isaac, as I recognized many of his essential belongings on the ground next to his sleeping bag. From where I was located, I was able to spot a narrow, stationary ray of light in the sky that seemingly grabbed a hold of my attention, but I pushed forward to continue my search because Isaac was the only thing on my mind. Sure enough, I confirmed that it was Isaac's campsite because his journal rested next to a roaring campfire, and the last entry indicated that he not only saw the same light that I saw, but also had loose knowledge of what it was and the beings that were responsible for it. He called them the Other Ones, and spoke as if he had encountered them before. This brought my memory back to these frantic sketches of humanoid squids I found on Isaac's floor, which were labeled with the same name. At this point, my only course of action was to follow the light that he vowed to follow himself. This gave me a feeling that he wrote that entry and abandoned his campsite not too long before I discovered it, so I pursued the light immediately after reading the entry. I started calling out to him, hoping that he would hear my voice and come to me, but to no avail. After what felt like miles upon miles of running, I finally reached the source of the light and dropped to my knees when I saw Isaac standing before 2 human-looking squid creatures that were screeching at him like crazy. Their skin had this strange blue glow-stick texture, and their tentacles were long and slithery. I wanted to call out to Isaac one more time, but I admit I choked. I did not know what these creatures were capable of, and I feel as though I did not have control over my body in this instant. Isaac also appeared to be unstoppable in this seemingly endless instant as he marched towards them like an army general. At this moment, what appeared to be a translucent outline of a sphere descended from the sky. I heard a very dull yet obnoxious hum as it lowered itself. Isaac, along with the creatures, levitated off of the ground towards the sphere and vanished within seconds. I ran towards the area of abduction and saw that there was a small pore of the ground covered in black slime. The slime was pulsating and sizzling like a pork chop on a hot pan. which indicated to me that these other ones, as Isaac called them, left remnants of unearthly matter or contaminants behind as they took him away. The entire incident haunts me. I cannot explain how mind-boggling and horrifying it was on paper. I am of sound mind and spirit. I am 100% certain that I witnessed an extraterrestrial abduction. I'm not suffering from any underlying mental illness, stress, or emotional distress beyond the emotional distress I've experienced witnessing this event take place. I decided to notify the authorities due to not knowing what else to do. I am willing to provide any additional information for the police to conduct a thorough investigation of what took place, as I have no other means of rationalizing this further. I'm terrified that I will not only never see Isaac again, but also that he may be in grave danger in the hands of beings more advanced than humanity. God knows what they have done or are currently doing to him as I write this statement. I fear the unspeakable.
Inpatient. Number 2854, Rachel Delaney, is hostile and often violent when not getting her way. She makes outlandish claims of having witnessed her partner abducted by extraterrestrial figures that she refers to as the other ones. I attempt to use cognitive exercises to motivate the patient into recognizing these claims as hallucinations, but that triggers her violent outbursts. Based on my analysis, I believe that the patient needs to remain heavily sedated and restrained until further analysis can be conducted. Signed, Dr. Roberta Daly.